Good afternoon, my name is Tom. Welcome to Beaver Creek Deer Camp. Located somewhere in the state of Maine. Oh, shoot. Well, we're right in the middle of deer season now. We'll see if we can make something happen. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Beaver Creek Deer Camp. 12 o'clock. I came back for lunch. Beautiful sunny day. Yesterday and last night, rain like cats and dogs. I did see a deer first thing in the morning. It was a doe. I have a doe permit for this area, but I don't want to take one that early in the morning because it very well could be a buck right behind it. So it's a gamble you have to take. Here's a doe getting ready to cross the trail, coming into my new cabin. This is about 50 feet behind the cabin, give or take, maybe 75 feet. But I want you to notice in this clip is it is 8:20 in the morning, and she's just getting ready to step out. I just want to leave everything in there for you. But earlier in the video, I was talking about she crossed right there. She's still off to the left. You can see her going through the woods. But earlier in the video, I talked about a buck coming right through. So I wanted you to see the time. It was 8:20 when she came through. And look what shows up at 8:30, 10 minutes later. Look at the size of that buck getting ready to come through the screen. That is 50 to 75 feet behind the cabin. What a spot to hunt. Unfortunately, that was one of the days that I was not there. So that's just about the way that it works out. But he's coming through looking for his doe. I will plan to fill that doe permit anytime after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a half hour left. You know, if it's 4:15, that's a perfect time to fill the doe permit. Because if there's a buck behind a doe at that time, the chances of it coming out before dark are slim to none. So my estimation is that's probably a pretty good time to fill the doe tag. And the doe tag is meat in the freezer. That's all it is. Also have a bonus doe tag for this area, which means I can shoot two does. But I'm not just going to shoot them willy-nilly. Like I said, don't want to muck up a buck hunt if it's at all possible. This is the third day of hunt for me in here. I've got, tomorrow is Sunday, so tomorrow I won't be hunting. We're not allowed to hunt in this state on Sunday. So my plan is I need to reroute my trail coming in here. The last 100 feet is pretty swampy. Maybe a couple 100 feet. So I've got some high ground that I'm going to move the trail up onto, and I'd like to do that tomorrow while I can't hunt. I've also brought in a tree climbing tree stand. I would like to install that tomorrow as well. So we'll see. I've got a spot picked out. I was in here with my grandson. We found lots of deer sign. So it's right alongside of the stream. So I really think that would be a pretty good spot for that tree climber until I get my big stands built next summer or even this winter. My hope is to be able to get some of that stuff in here and start working on it this winter with any luck at all. I can always level it up in the spring as far as putting good pads under the staging and all of that. But I'd like to get started on that because that's a big part of this whole plan down here in this swamp. I'm all moved into the cabin now. I've got all the spices brought in that I'm going to bring in. I brought in 6-gallon bucket full of food, dry goods, so that's all in here. Everything from powdered milk to powdered gravy. So, and everything else I can lug in as I come in on a trip. I also got a 6-gallon bucket full of dishes. I'm going to keep my dishes in a bucket out here. That way it's a threaded bucket. It's got a threaded cover on it. That way when I wash my dishes and put them away, they will stay clean and nothing will bother them. Everything else is in jars and cans and everything else, so we protect it that way. Right now there's no mice in the cabin at all. I don't see any sign at all of mice, so for right now I'm good to go. I brought in my bedding this trip, so now I've got a bed in here. I've got pillows, I've got 4 wool blankets. I'm also going to be bringing in a sleeping bag as it gets colder. Right now it's not cold at all in here. Today it's 58 degrees. For the middle of November, well, not quite in the middle of November. I don't know what day it is. Must be, what, the 11th, 12th, something like that. 58 degrees here in Maine. That's pretty darn warm. Even by our standards here in the state of Maine. So, I don't like warm temperatures for deer hunting. That's a darn sure. I would rather have it crispy and frosty in the morning. But that rain did make the deer move first thing this morning, because it poured. It came down. It came down in buckets yesterday and last night. It was just a downpour, and it shows in this swamp. There's water everywhere. So it's good to be moved in finally. I brought in I don't have my gas lights in, and I don't have my gas stove in yet. But as you saw in the last video, I've got a Coleman stove that I put together for in here. So we've got that in here for cooking on right now, as well as a wood stove and the campfire out there. But during deer season, I'll keep it to the cooking on a quick stove so that I can get the meal cooked, done, and out of the way. Let's see, I brought in a Coleman lantern. I have that on a tree, one of them trees that you hook to a 20-gallon tank of propane. So that's how I'm running the Coleman lantern for right now. So that's good. I just got that in here it was the day before yesterday. So that finally got some light in here for when it's after dark. So that's nice, especially, well, when we changed the clocks here, last weekend. So I had to come up with some lighting if I'm going to be in here after dark. I don't like hanging around in the dark, can't see anything. But it sure is nice, finally, to get this cabin up and running. I brought in some, they're not chain falls, but rope falls, because I don't have my meat pole up yet. But if I do get a deer, I can put a chain up in the tree, and with the rope falls, I can pull the deer up. I would love to be able to get a deer in front of this cabin for the pictures, just because that would be the plan coming together. By next year there'll be a regular meat pole set up. It's just a matter of time and getting everything done. But boy, oh boy, finally this cabin is up and running. Have some coffee. Now my plan today is I'm going to hang around here for about another hour, and then about 1 o'clock I've got a spot picked out. Oh, I don't know, 1,000 yards from here. I got a spot picked out over there that I'm going to go. It's a little ground blind that I put together. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to sit there until dark. And then hopefully something will walk by. It would be nicer if I had a trail over there, but I don't. So if I do get a deer, I'm going to have to drag it back. I would like a trail so I can use a 6-wheeler. I don't like dragging them. But we'll see what happens. Be nice to catch one going by. I'm looking out the door because that's such a beautiful view. What I like about it down in here is it's so quiet. Once I get in here, boy, it's just a great place to be. So happy that I put the place together. On my way in here, I've got a deer trail that crosses my 6-wheel trail. And I've got a game camera right there right now. I haven't looked at it, haven't pulled it, but I'm going to pull it tomorrow morning. I'm actually going to pull it this evening, and then I'll check out, see what's on it. It's a deer run. It just keeps getting matted down every time I go by. So it's time to check that camera and see what's on it. And then figure out from there. You know, this is the first year hunting in here, so I've got a lot to learn. This is a big area, and it's just plain got a lot to learn. So I would like to see a big buck on that camera, if possible. But that many tracks, it's probably 2 or 3 does that are using that run on a regular basis. So, but that's what we want. I mean, we're coming into the rut pretty good. So that's what this warm weather. Man, they'll come out a little bit, but boy, I don't like this warm weather for hunting. Not in this state, anyways. But pull that camera, see what's on that card. I will share with you what's on that card. There's something on it. There's something on it. So that's not a. I'm hoping there's a buck. Like I said, I haven't spent a lot of time scouting in here this year because of getting this cabin built, and you know, part of what's going on. But over the winter, I will be putting in these stands and looking around more, finding out what I want. And next year, this will be a whole different ball of wax in here, because I'll be able to spend the next year scouting. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. This winter, I plan on being in here a lot and just plain learning the area. And they'll tell me a lot too, especially in December and January. The deer, you'll see what they're doing the last couple weeks in November, and especially the first couple weeks of December. So anything I learn right now will help me out come muzzle loading season. So the temperatures will be turning here pretty quick, and like I said, anything I learn right now or anything that I can put in my back pocket from moseying around. That's what I've been doing, especially this morning. It was where all that rain, it was fairly easy to get out and just walk around, so without making a whole lot of noise. So I was able to see a lot and learn a lot this morning, and we'll put that in our back pocket and we'll see what happens. And my spices, my ketchup, my condiments, peanut butter jelly, coffee cup. All the necessities of life, I guess. These are my buckets. That bucket right there is full of dishes. That bucket right there is full of food. 6 gallons of dry food, so that's more than enough to keep me sustained out here, along with other little stashes in the cabin. I've added to the pots and pans. Brought out another little pan. Brought out some stainless steel bowls. This side of the cabin is still quite a mess. I'm organizing it during the day, trying to. Under that pile right there is a climbing tree stand that I'll be installing this weekend. My blankets are over there piled up. And behind that green seat, that camo seat cover, I swiped off a lawn chair. I've got a bag of clothes hanging there for now. Dry clothes. We're still organizing, like I said. I've still got a small kitchen cabinet to bring out here so that I can put some of my food supplies in the cabinet. I picked up a snow shovel at the lawn sale for $5. So I've got that trucked out here. My little axe there, I put a new handle on that, so that's good to go. My daughter has made me this sign to hang in the cabin. So I hope you enjoyed the little cabin tour. Nothing fancy yet. Still a hunting camp, and that's all it is. Place to hang your hat. Place to come back for lunch, and a good place to get a night's sleep and start the hunt tomorrow. So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next one.